The NFL starts today, but I'm recording these on Saturday and Friday, so here are a couple of my picks for the NFL Honors Awards. For my first guy, I have Justin Herbert, who threw for 477 completions, 699 attempts on a 68.2 completion percentage, with 4,732 yards and 25 touchdowns. Last year, he took a dip in touchdowns, which was a career low for him, and injuries on offense all around killed him, with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Rashawn Slater. Also, injuries on the defense really killed them. J.C. Jackson, Joey Bosa, and finished with a record of 10-7, which was second in the AFC West. They lost in the first round to Jacksonville and blew a 27-point lead. They had virtually no run game. They were passing the ball so much in that game, so much more than they needed to. They needed to get Josh Kelly, Austin Eckler, and Isaiah Spiller the ball in that game, but they just couldn't. In 2023, I think he throws for the second most yards and touchdowns and finishes first in the AFC West. I think Herbert gets the MVP, getting a huge upgrade at OC with Kellen Moore. Last year, their offense was mediocre at best. So much more potential in that offense. And their offense is healthy, and the run game should get a lot more efficient. In fantasy, I've been finishing as a QB3 with 350.44 total points, averaging 20.6 points per game. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Jamar Chase, who last season had 87 receptions on 134 targets and 1,046 yards with 9 touchdowns. In 2022, he had a dry spell from weeks 2 to 5, only averaging like 11 points per game. Not really good, but he popped off in weeks 6 and 7, both having 30 plus. But he also hurt his hip in week 7 and was out for 4 weeks plus his bye. He led the league in targets before his injury. Despite missing 5 games, he still finished as the wide receiver 11. In 2022, his playoff stats in 3 games were 20 receptions on 28 targets for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. For my 2023 predictions, I am finishing with 116 receptions on 189 targets, 1,693 yards, and 12 touchdowns. I think he finishes second in yards and first in touchdowns and wins the Offensive Player of the Year. I project Burrow to lead the league in touchdowns, and a lot of his touchdowns are going to go to Jamar Chase. I also have them making a deep playoff run this year. They might be able to win the Super Bowl. Probably not, though. They lost a couple key pieces on defense. In fantasy, I think he finishes as a wide receiver 2, having 357.3 total fantasy points or 21 points per game. I don't have a set pick for Defensive Player of the Year, but a guy like Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett will obviously be in the race, but I think a sneaky pick for it is Aiden Hutchinson because he played incredible in that Chiefs game. He was in the backfield in every single play. No surprise, but for my Offensive Rookie of the Year pick, I have Bijan Robinson. I have him projected for 274 attempts for 1,452 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's a nice blend of size and speed with good power. He has good vision and can find the hole. He can make one cut and turn upfield. He's effective in the receiving game, and he's amazing at breaking tackles. He doesn't have elite speed. He's hesitant at the line of scrimmage, and he also needs to develop as a pass blocker. In 2023, he's coming into the highest rushing volume offense in 2022, which is the Atlanta Falcons. He has a very good offensive line, and they're playing in a very weak division, and they could easily make the playoffs. In fantasy, I am finishing with 305.1 total fantasy points and 17.9 points per game. The next player I'm going to talk about is Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots. Over 3 years at both Colorado and Oregon, he had 128 tackles, 6 TFLs, 17 passes defended, and 4 interceptions. He has good length at 6'1" or 6'2". He's super athletic, having a 4.38 40 and a 41.5-inch vert. He's a good tackler and has quick feet with good closing speed, and he has good hips and change of direction. He's not as established in zone as he is in man, and he's also not amazing in press. He also doesn't play the ball well in the air. For 2023, I think he's my Defensive Rookie of the Year pick. He's going into a great cornerback system. They've had guys like Revis, Gilmore, Ty Law, J.C. Jackson, to name a few guys. And they also made the Jones rookies look nasty this season. Again, for Coach of the Year, I don't really have a set pick, but I could definitely see Dan Campbell winning. He's super aggressive. I also see them winning the NFC North this year.